This week on commandN, get smarter with NPR, why men like to click, and the geekiest coasters on the web. Welcome to episode 151 of commandN. I'm Amber.
I'm Will Pate, and I need a haircut.
Yeah, your hair's got this thing going on.
It's a little shaggy right now, I'm sorry.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, I also need to go to the hair salon, which is why I'm wearing the hairband. So we're both in trouble. Hopefully Jeff has better hair during this episode. You can never be sure. All right, let's talk about the tech headlines of the week. Our first story this week is about a survey that was done in Australia. They surveyed men and women, and the goal of the survey was to find out when men or women were happiest. And it turns out that men were happiest when they're clicking away online, whereas women are happiest when they're spending time with friends and family.
Huh.
Interesting, isn't it?
I'm happiest shooting commandN.
I know, I'm happy shooting commandN, but I must say, if I were in this survey, I would definitely be on the male side of the survey.
Interesting.
Don't know what that means, Will.
Amber MacArthur, internet tomboy.
I know, it might not be a good thing at all. And you have some news about NPR and a new online community.
Yeah, NPR's built this really cool online community. It's kind of one part Facebook, one part Dig, and it's all around trying to foster positive discussions around the stories that they cover. I love NPR, I love the content, so I'm actually going to join this and I look forward to participating.
Now, if you're interested in being a spy, this is kind of a weird segue, you can join Britain's M16 if you actually apply on Facebook. It turns out they're recruiting spies on Facebook. They're looking to get a younger generation. I think it's a fantastic opportunity for people out there who believe that they have a little 007 in them.
If you guys need any shaggy-haired Commonwealth friends, you know where to find me.
Yeah, look Will up. I think he'd be good for that. And YouTube also has some interesting news for video creators.
Mm-hmm. Well, we covered this a couple months ago when YouTube launched their video analytics that lets video creators tell like what people are viewing and that kind of stuff. They actually just launched something that will let you know second by second when people stop watching your videos. So like, you know, if it turns out that people stop watching commandN as soon as I show up, you're like, hey, we got to do something about that guy, right?
See, you know what? I read that today as well, and I was thinking, I don't really want to know when they stop watching because I think I'll be offended. I think we should ignore that feature, but for people out there who want to pay attention, it's a good feature.
It's going to be some hand sign, like it's when one of us does this or like this. Or
we do the Obama
like
bump.
Woo!
Yeah, that's usually what it ends.
Do not unclick that.
Keep watching. It's only getting better from here. We did mention Obama. We have a little tiny bit of political news for this episode. Not too much, because I'm sure everybody has been inundated by political news.
What? Is there an election going on?
I know, in both Canada and the US, and I'm sure in other parts of the world. But if anyone is a David Letterman fan and watches his show late at night, you'll notice that he is constantly bashing Senator John McCain, because it turns out that Senator McCain was supposed to show up on his show and said he couldn't come because he had to rush to Washington, but at the same time he showed up in an interview with Katie Couric, and Letterman has been a little upset, and as I learned from Will, I guess he's been talking about this for a few days.
Yeah, he's been hitting him a couple nights in a row on this one.
All right, well, let's take a look at a clip and see what Letterman has to say.
The road to the White House runs right through me.
That always has, always will.
Let me just go through this one more time to make my point absolutely clear.
Okay. Yeah.
He can't run the campaign because the economy is about to crater. Fine, you put in your second string quarterback. Well, where is our second string quarterback? Yeah, thank you. So I'm more than a little disappointed by this behavior.
Yeah.
We're suspending the campaign.
Yeah.
Are we suspending it because there's an economic crisis or because the poll numbers are sliding?
Oops, whoops, whoops.
That Letterman video was just one Letterman video that is getting tons of views online. I think it was one of the top videos this week. Mm-hmm. Again, if you're into politics and you live in the US and you're wondering if you're registered to vote or you want to know where polling stations are, there's a great website called voteforchange.com. So you should check that out, put in all your info, and you can get more info. And I think it'd be handy for a lot of people out there. Or you could go to Twitter.
Yeah, well, my last story today is that if you want to get more news from Twitter about the election, a lot of people are watching Twitter right now, and some people are complaining it's too much politics. Some people say I only want politics. Well, for the people in the second category, Twitter launched election.twitter.com, and you can go there and get up-to-date news from the candidates, about the candidates, filtering by the candidates. It's all kinds of cool stuff like that.
Very cool. And if Will and I look like we're about to break into dance, it's because there's been a song playing in the background across the street. That's that song. Dur, 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 So we have a little break dance going on. So
I'm feeling light on my feet today.
I know. Maybe it's time to check in with Jeff.
Hi, I'm Jeff MacArthur. Now, we get asked all the time what kind of formats we'd recommend for delivering video on the web. So I figure what better way to share our thoughts on that than through a tech tip. Now, the following advice is geared towards general audiences, and it may be that your show caters to a real niche audience that would be better served by some other formats. But with that said, here are the top 4 formats in order that I'd recommend using for your web video. First of all, Flash. Total no-brainer. Adobe says that about 99% of computers are capable of playing Flash, and it's hard to argue with those sorts of numbers. I mean, there's a reason why YouTube and Blip TV and all these other online video sharing sites use Flash. You can pretty much be sure that your audience anywhere will be able to watch what you have to show. The downside to Flash is that it's not nearly as easy to download and play as it is to watch through your web browser, which is why you probably want to consider some other formats to distribute as well. Top amongst these other formats, for me, is H.264, also known as MPEG-4 AVC for Advanced Video Coding. Now, H.264 gives great quality video at lower bit rates than other codecs and was custom built to scale from tiny handheld screens to much larger HD presentations. Additionally, H.264 is the codec of choice for iTunes and the world's most popular portable media player, the iPod, which has over 70% market share. Again, you can't ignore that. And it can also be played on Microsoft's Zune, the PSP, Xbox 360, PS3, and other devices. The third format I suggest encoding in is Windows Media Video. As much as I'm not a huge fan of Windows Media, the Windows Media Player has an almost 80% penetration rate on computers. And with the notable exception of the iPod, it can be played on more portable devices than any of the other formats that we're discussing here, including Arcos, Creative Zen, iRiverClix, and other players. Finally, if you're looking for a fourth format, I'd recommend MPEG-4 Part 2, or ASP for Advanced Simple Profile Codec. Again, this plays across a very wide range of devices, including the iPod, and it's a good alternative from the newer H.264 format for older computers. I should also mention that we actually do 2 versions of our H.264 encode. One for smaller iPod-sized screens and a higher quality version for larger screens. And you'll have to make sure that you follow specific encoding specifications for your videos to be able to play on certain devices. So make sure to check that out before you go do your encoding. But all in all, the above 4 formats should get you happily delivering digital video to the bulk of your viewers. That's all for this week. I'm Jeff MacArthur. Enjoy.
Our web picks are sponsored by our friends at GoDaddy.com. If you go to GoDaddy, you can get an extra 10% off if you enter the promo code commandN. So remember, command and the number 1 and the number 0. And if you go to GoDaddy and you get any of their services, they're up to 70% less than the competition.
So now it's time for our iPicks of the week. What do you have this week, Amber?
Oh, Will, I think you're teasing our web picks a little bit. I have something to do with the iPhone. So people out there who are iPhone fans, I saw this on tuaw.com, which is a great blog. And they've listed a place where you can go and you can actually buy a set of 16 coasters that replicate the icons on the iPhone. Now, if you're a hardcore geek, that's cool.
I think I might get those.
I know. I have to say, though, it's a little bit expensive. It's $60 plus, I know, $15 shipping. So for a lot of people, you can imagine that's a ton of money. But maybe there'll be, there'll be someone who creates some other versions of this that are a little bit less expensive.
Like an Android one that's free and you can print them off yourself, kind of like the open source
sure.
one?
Why not? I mean, we're all crafty and creative, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. Maybe. And you have an iPick as well.
Yes, my web pick this week is the Facebook 2.0 on the iPhone. I'm a big fan of the Facebook iPhone app originally. The problem for me was too many Facebook friends, like you good folks who watch the show, kind of slowed down the app and made it too hard to use, but works a lot better now. Lots of cool features. It's just better design, so check it out.
That's one thing that I know that my brother loves on the iPhone. He loves the Facebook app, and I've noticed him using Facebook a little bit more now, so
sweet.
That's good for all of us. Although he writes things like he's deep in usability and all these very geeky things, so I never know what he's really doing well.
Well, usability?
I guess so.
Yeah.
How much usability can you do? Who knows?
Don't answer that question.
I know, don't. Well, you could answer it. You'd have to go to the comments at commandN.tv. We're always in there. You know, we love your feedback, so keep it up and let us know if you have anything you think you want us to review on the show, anything you want us to do differently, any dances you want us to do. That would all be good stuff to add in there.
It's all fair game.
It is. Well, thanks for watching and have a great week. You just thought I was looking at it because it was penetrating the lens. Oh, that's totally going to be the blooper. I let it go. Okay.